Good afternoon once again, my lovely community members and candidates who are going to write the promotion exams. Let me seize this opportunity to discuss one key um, body and its functions under the Education Regulatory Body Act 2020, that is Act 1023 or Act 1023. We are looking at Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, and we are going to look at its functions. It has 5 key functions that it performs, and we are going to look at these functions. So stay glued to your set and let us go through these 5 key functions. One is the general function, the 2 advisory functions, then 3 coordinating functions, 4 regulatory functions, and 5 accreditation function. Let's jump into it and see these functions. We are taking the first one, that is the general functions. What it does is it ensures that tertiary education institutions apply the highest standard and relevant of teaching, learning, and research programs and outcomes. Then, still under the general function, it promotes equitable and inclusive access to all tertiary education programs and service. Then, what it also does as a general function is that it promotes transparent governance and best practices, including reporting and check and balances to ensure full accountability. Then, still under the general function, it also promotes culture of independence, lifelong learning, and of scientific and technological inquiry based among staff, students, and the wider community. Then, still under the general functions, it also promotes affirmative action for persons with disability and other marginalized and disadvantaged. Then, the last one under the general function is that it promotes non-discrimination policy and practices. These are the functions under the general one. Let's look at the advisory functions. It advises the minister on the establishment and development of tertiary education institutions in the country. That is the GTEC, what it does on the advisory function. Then 2 is to provide advice and guidance on the general direction of development, orientation, and mission of the public and the private tertiary institutions or education institutions in line with the national development goals and objectives, and having regards to the optimal diversities and differentiated tertiary education system, which shall in particular cover the whole education system. Then it inquires into the financial needs of the public tertiary education institutions and advise the minister on them. Then the advisory role is also placed is that it recommends to the minister the purpose of the preparation of the annual national education budget. Still under the advisory function, what it also does is it advises on the funding and the support for the needy students or people, students in the tertiary level. Then what the commission also does is that it advises the president through the minister on the approval and the grant of charter to the public and the private tertiary education institutions in the country. Then still under the advisory function, what it also does is that the commission advises the government on the structure of the tertiary education system, taking into account the need for diversification and differentiation to meet the standards or the demands of the sustainable national development. Then let's look at the coordinating function of this commission, that is the GTEC. The GTEC, what it also does is acts as an agency for channeling external assistance and funding to the public tertiary institutions in the country. Then it also collates, analyzes, and publishes information on the tertiary education in the country. Then it coordinates the planning of the tertiary education system in line with the manpower needs and the national development goals. Then what it also does is it creates a platform for regular interaction between the industry and the academia or the academics. So then still under the coordinating, it provides a hub for mutual beneficial interaction and articulation of the national interest within the tertiary education. These are some of the coordinating functions that GTEC does. Then let's look at the regulatory function of this commission or this GTEC, Ghana Tertiary Education Commission. The regulatory function of it ensures that the implementation of the approved regulations and the national standard and the norms with respect to the tertiary education institutions are observed. Then approved the establishment of the tertiary commissioned institution. Then regulate the structure of tertiary education in the country. Then develops policies and regulations to advance the conduct of research and innovation in the public tertiary education institutions and the private as well. Then what is also what it does also is that it develops norms for allocation of grants to drive the tertiary policies based on the national development priority. These are functions under the regulatory function. Then let's look at the accreditation function of GTEC or Ghana Tertiary Education Commission. What it does is that the commission is responsible for the accreditation of public and private tertiary institutions. Bear in mind that we said that it has merged two bodies together as one. It has merged two bodies. So the work of the National Accreditation Board is now done by this Ghana Tertiary Education Commission. So bear in mind. So what the commission does is it is responsible for the accreditation of public and the private tertiary institution. Then the commission is also responsible for the accreditation of programs of public and private tertiary education institution. Then the last function under the accreditation function is that the commission determines the requirement for maintenance of standard of physical infrastructure, governance systems, human resources, and the financial sustainability in the tertiary education sector. These are the functions of the 5 key functions that I've mentioned. That is the general functions, the advisory functions, the coordinating functions, the regulatory functions, and the accreditation functions. Kindly go through this, and I hope it shall be well, especially those who are writing AD, AD2, AD1, and deputy director. You may meet some of these things. They are new policies that have come, and we need to learn about it before we go and write. Thank you. Kindly subscribe if you are a new member. Like the video, share it to your friends so that it will go